Hey, what's up, guys? So I really wanted to talk to you about, just giving yourself enough time. I think a lot of times we just expect things just to happen overnight. And I'll share with you guys, just a little bit about my story. Man, it took over 10 years. Man, it probably took longer than that for me to actually be a practicing dentist. My journey just went in so many different directions. It really just took time. And I mean, until I actually understood that, because I think initially when I first started, I was telling everybody, that, hey, man, I'm about to do this, I'm about to do that. It was cool at first, but then once it didn't start happening for me, man, I think it really, it affected me, man. A lot of the things that you're reaching for or that you're going to, man, it's going to take some time. It's going to take some developing. I just really wanted to just get on and just let you guys know this, okay, man, that it's gonna take a little while. I mean, good things come to those who wait. And I think, one of the things with that, when you get something that is really good that you've had to work for, you cherish it a whole lot more because of the time and the work that you put in, that you cherish what it is that you have, that you cherish the opportunity and the platform that you create. With my journey being as long as it has, even if you think about anybody that's really done something significant, usually it takes a long while for it to really blow up and just to manifest the way it does. Sometimes it happens relatively quickly, but that's not to say that prior to it blowing up, that particular person was working on something else and that aligned with what it is that they were doing. I think about acting. There you go, on thousands upon thousands of editions just to try and get a role on the big screen, acting or music. A lot of times they've just tried to do things just to get in the room. And so a lot of musicians, they may have somebody that they wrote a song for, or they're producing their track, or they made the beat, or something like that. I think about, even Kanye with his new documentary, and I learned a whole lot about Kanye, his approach to things. Even though it may be a little bit different than a lot of other people, I do and I can appreciate his grind. Initially, he was just looked at as a producer, just making beats and things like that, and everybody wanted a Kanye beat. But he was in the room, you know what I mean? He was in a room with a Jay-Z. He was in a room with a Beanie Siegel. He was in a room with, Ludacris and so many, and Pharrell, and it was so many different people that he was in the room with making beats for prior to him actually blowing up. And now, if you think about it, Kanye is arguably one of the best rappers, and a lot of the people and the producers, they have respect in their own right. Pharrell has this respect in his own right. Ludacris has respect in his own right. But Kanye, his producing, his artistry, what I'm saying, has been timeless and has influenced so many other rappers, even just musicians, in a way that transcended. And so I go back to say it takes time, and it was over. Kanye, I think he started when he was like 18. He was rapping, when he was 13 or 12 or something like that. But when he really started getting serious and producing, it really took a long time. That's one of the things that I can really appreciate about his documentary, and just the growth of where he was then and where he is now, is one, he believed in himself early on. And then two, you can appreciate the amount of time it took for him to get to where he's going. Even if you think about a Denzel Washington, a lot of the actors that we watch and admire on the screen, like, they went to school for that. You know what I'm saying? Or if they didn't go to school, you know what I mean? Like, they went on thousands of auditions, like I was sharing with you earlier. Give yourself a little bit of grace when it doesn't happen as quickly as you would hope it would. I mean, even with me, I that was something that I had to learn the hard way. I shared with everybody what I was trying to do, and thanks be to God that it worked out. But at the same time, give yourself some time, man. I really feel like 10 to 12 years is probably the sweet spot when it comes to you doing a particular thing and actually really manifesting and blowing up the way that you would hope it to do. Because that's about the time that it took me. And usually, once you're doing a thing for that amount of time, you get a certain type of mastery with it. You learn more things about yourself, also the field that you're trying to pursue. And so when I think about that, I mean, it's just incredibly important, man, just to give yourself time. I mean, even with my story, it just took a long time, man. I started in undergrad, really in high school. I knew I kind of wanted to secretly be a doctor, but I just really didn't put that out in the atmosphere. Went to college, graduated from college with a health administration degree, and just after graduating from college, I just surprised myself, and I was like, man, I'm going back, and I'm going to get what it is that I want to do. And so I never looked back. But that whole time, I didn't know that I was going to be a dentist. I didn't know that my path was going to be the path that it is right now. But I was out there, man. I was trying. I was in the mix. I was in the room, if you will. I was trying to study for the entrance exams. I was trying to shadow people that were where I thought I was supposed to be. I wouldn't shadow physicians. I wouldn't shadow pharmacists. I wouldn't shadow physical therapists. Just trying to figure out what type of doctor I wanted to be. It just took time, man. And I think, if you don't allow yourself the grace and understand that, with everything, it just takes time, I think you're really cheating yourself, because so many people, because it takes a long time, or because it's not happening as quickly, they usually bow out. They usually give up. I mean, even after undergrad and things like that, I did a post-baccalaureate program just to strengthen my credentials. And by that time, I was already 8 to 10 years in. Then after that, that didn't jump off, and so I had to sit out a little bit. It worked out where I met with the dentist, and that really just kind of just sung to me, and it really made sense to me, and I pursued it, and I was able to get it. But like I said, it took some time. I mean, even with me going after dentistry, it was still a lot of things that I didn't know, and I had to learn. So I had to study for the exam, and that took time. And then you have to go through the application process, and that takes time. And then even after that, you have to go to the interview, and that takes time. It's a lot when it comes to getting to your goal or getting to your dream, but it's worth it. It's worth it because I don't have to wonder anymore if that would have worked out, because I did it. And so just give yourself some time, man, and know that anything worth having, any promise worth having, is worth working for. It's worth waiting for. And it's worth putting in that willpower. You got to keep pushing. So working and working and working and waiting and working and waiting. That's the name of the game. One of the other things that I learned, man, is even after you get to the goal, you still got to work. And I think that was one of the things that I learned relatively the hard way, because after I had got to the goal as far as being in dental school or being in professional school, I wouldn't necessarily say I was lax, but I should have worked a little bit harder. But just because you attain it don't mean that it's time to relax, that it's time to stop working. Even once you get to where you're going, it's your craft. You got to build on it. You got to work on it. You can't give up on it. You got to keep pushing. You got to keep moving and stay focused, man. Stay focused, because there's going to be so many different things that's going to be coming from so many different directions, but you got to stay focused. You got to keep pushing through. Man, I hope this helps you guys, man. Please connect with me. Check out the description, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hey man, what's good with you? Glad to have you here, man. And I just wanted to just real quick, man, just take the time out just to say thanks, man. I think I say it all the time, man, but my grandmother said, nobody owes you anything. So when somebody does something nice for you, you say thank you. So thank you for just tuning in. I'll see you on the next one, man. Y'all be blessed.